I mean, it's a frightening thing to think that they're going to rip open your stomach, pull out your liver, and give you a liver of somebody who just recently died. And, you know, it's not the most pleasant thing in the world. Well, you know, that's news that, you know, it's never good news to have, but this was an adventure that started probably about 8 years ago. I went in for my annual checkup and they noticed that my platelet count was low. The reason for my low platelet count was an enlarged spleen. A large spleen can mean a lot of different things, you know, and one of them was there could be liver problems. And they did find a little nodule on my liver, but nothing to worry about, and it was still pretty small, and it had grown again, and this time it had grown over the limit that would indicate that it was liver cancer. I was able to start the process of a liver transplant.
You caused enough stress all year long, for God's sake.
Yeah, we're all happy you're still here, blah, 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 blah.
I'd like to say that I'm happy I'm still here. Because last year I said maybe this will be my last for a while.
Are you going to say that?
For a while? Are you coming back?
Well, we're getting closer.
Once you leave, do you come back?
From where?
You just said this will be my last for a while.
Well, yeah, because if I get the transplant
Yeah.
and it's around Thanksgiving, I won't be here next Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Well,
you'll be
we'll
at
just
our
sit
house.
in the hospital.
Where are you going to be?
Where would you be?
Or you'll be home.
Transplant Heaven.
Transplant Heaven?
Don't say heaven.
Say hell. You really think you're going to heaven?
I hear it's much better in hell anyway.
It's probably a lot more fun.
Right.
Of course, the downside is that the rate of surviving the operation is 87%. And you would think that's pretty good, 87%. But that means out of every 100, 13 don't survive. So you hope that, you know, today's the day that you're one of the 87 that do survive. So, you know, you wouldn't know because you go to sleep and that's it. If you don't survive, you just don't wake up. So it's not that frightening. It's more frightening for the people that, you know, your loved ones around you who are going to be sitting there for 10 hours waiting for you to wake up. I was thinking that just before they put me under, when I know I'm still lucid, that I want to thank them all for all the help and education they've given me, and I know that they're all going to do a good job. So when you're in this position, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing I can do, but there's everything that they can do. And this is something that probably 10 years ago I would not have survived. And I just want to tell them how important it is that I do wake up. So I'm going to ask them to do everything you can to make me wake up at the back end. So that's just kind of my dark humor, I guess. One thing we did find out about liver transplant people, they have no sense of humor whatsoever. I've given them my best stuff, and I don't even get a smirk. You know, they have no sense of humor. They're all business.
I'm just happy that we're all here. I'm happy that Michael had a good year football, and I'm very proud that he's now on the basketball team. I can't wait to see him play basketball.
I don't think I have to see
I'm glad that you got your promotion, which is really good.
Are there?
I'm glad that your job is secure at Pfeiffer.
Pfizer.
Pfeiffer.
My job down in the basement.
In the basement, yeah. Well, I work in the bedroom, so.
That you might want to edit out.
I get to see my grandchildren from time to time. The two older boys are gone in college. The two younger ones, they've got lots of things that they're doing themselves. My granddaughter is a typical 16-year-old girl. She doesn't really want to hang out with Grandpa anymore, although if I call her and ask her to go to dinner, she's always there for me. My youngest grandson, Michael, is on the varsity football team as a sophomore, which is quite an accomplishment. And I try to get to each one of his games and stay involved in his life as much as possible. And the two boys at college, periodically we text each other and stay in each other's lives. And when they come home, we make it a point to get together whenever and wherever we can. Eventually things will settle down and we'll get back into a different kind of rhythm. It's not going to be the Saturday morning breakfast and then go out to a movie and go play laser tag and then go bowling and do a lot of fun things that young kids like to do. Maybe next time I get to do that, it'll be with their kids. Once I managed to make a good living and support my family and live a lifestyle that was acceptable to my wife and myself. As a result, we've traveled to almost every state in the United States. We've traveled to many foreign countries. We've been to Paris almost 40 times. We've been to almost every European nation. We've been to Moscow and Russia. So we've traveled all over the world. We've taken cruises, we've taken business trips, we've taken vacations. I could probably be a tour guide in Paris because I know Paris as well as I know New York City. We've gone to a number of seminars where we've talked to other patients, where doctors have given us the information that we need. So we're pretty well prepared. But at this point, I think it's just a matter of doing your regular routines and keeping up with with your life. I think it's just a matter of your own mental outlook on things. I try to be very positive. I know what I'm dealing with. I know what my family's going through and dealing with this as well. I mean, I know that everyone's afraid of what could happen, what might happen. So I guess you plan for the worst and hope for the best. So I would say make sure you have all the information that you possibly can get. I think educating yourself as to what to expect and reach out to people around you that have gone through the same thing and listen to what they say. I'm lucky because at Columbia Presbyterian they have a really good, extensive program there, educating people on what's going to happen, why it happens, and how it's going to happen. So you're really prepared very well for this traumatic time in your life. And what you got to do is filter through the good stuff and filter out the bad, and make your own decisions. But if you think negative stuff will happen. You'll tend to bring that to you. If you think positive, you have a better chance of positive outcomes. So that would be my advice.